Having MG can make cooking difficult, but over the years, I've found some really helpful tools and tips that I'm excited to share. Hi, I'm Alicia. I think cooking should always be fun, creative, and of course, delicious. These black bean burgers are hearty, full of flavor, and MG friendly. You're gonna love them.
Check out Alicia's Black Bean Burger cooking video and other recipes full of tips and tricks for managing common MG symptoms while cooking, only at mg-united.com.
Ready? Let's cook.
Oh yeah, look at my life. Hey now, hey now, yeah.
Hey now.
Oh yeah, look at my life out here on the road. Oh yeah, look at my life. Hey now, yeah. Oh yeah, look at my life out here on the road.
Hey now! Hi, friends! Welcome to the long weekend. It is a listener DMs episode of Scott Fox After 9, and that is because tomorrow is Good Friday, and your Good Friday is going to be a great Friday because hopefully it is a day off for you. Let's bring in the great Anna Almeida. How are you, Anna?
I'm good. I'm happy it's a short week.
Yeah, me too. This 4-day week, but it really kind of dragged, didn't it?
Yeah, it's because we knew it was going to be a 4-day. I always find that.
You've got a lot of listener DMs over there, I see.
I'm excited. I'm happy that we're not missing out on the opportunity to read them out.
Yeah, you know what? Friday listener DMs on a Thursday.
Switch it up.
I love it. Before we get into that, there's a couple things I want to run by you. First off, it's Easter weekend.
Yes.
Any special traditions or anything that people should know about?
We have these candies. They're called a mendwish, but basically they're almonds and they're sugar coated, and they come in different colors that would look like Easter eggs. So you give those out. You also do masa, which is sweet bread, and you cook them with eggs in them. So hard-boiled eggs would be in the sweet bread. So that's also a gift that you give. And yeah, and just get together. So it'll be boiled vegetables tomorrow because we don't eat any meat because it's Good Friday. And then we're just going to have a nice dinner on Sunday together as a family.
Big fish and chips day tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and I'm excited. I gave up pastries for Lent, so I'm excited to be able to indulge again.
Yeah, Lent is coming to an end.
I know. I did it though. I'm so proud.
Good for you. That's amazing.
Yeah. How about you?
I've got family stuff all weekend, and my daughter is getting ready to start traveling again. So this is basically my last weekend with her. So I'm looking forward to a nice, relaxing weekend. I don't anticipate any pods are going to come out over the long weekend, but that's okay. Everybody disconnect.
Yeah.
Don't do the political stuff on the weekend. Just enjoy Easter, and we'll be back at it on Monday.
That's actually really good advice.
There's a number of things I want to talk to you about, though, before we get too far into the pod.
Okay.
Can I run a couple of things by you?
Yeah.
First off, did you watch the Artemis 2 launch yesterday?
So I was actually working an event last night, so I saw the highlights when I got home, and I thought it was pretty incredible. I was really excited to see the rocket take off. Just the countdown just feels so exciting. Like, I felt like a kid, like 5, 4. Oh my gosh, I felt like I was there even though I wasn't. I can't believe we're seeing that in our time of life. Like, it's just incredible. We're going to go to the dark side of the moon. Like, who would have ever thought?
Well, I'm trying to keep it in perspective because what they did yesterday was an amazing accomplishment. To generate that much thrust, to get it off the ground, a ship that big, powerful enough to send 4 people to the moon and back, that's no small feat. But this is just part of a bigger picture. They got to figure out that they can do it, circle around the Earth, slingshot around using the Earth's gravity, get out around the moon, and then slingshot back. If they can do that, then step 3 is they can go and put a lander on the moon. If they can do that, then we start building the base on the moon. And that means there could be people living there full time, just like on the International Space Station.
That's just... The fact that you can even say all that and that is an actual possibility is pretty incredible. I don't believe the moonwalk ever happened.
You don't?
I don't.
Oh, you conspiracy theorist.
I don't believe that ever happened because of the technology and all the hurdles we've had to deal with in today's technology era. I can't even believe that we thought we could put people on the moon back then. Yeah, I think we went to space. That's about it. I don't think that we actually landed on the moon.
It's interesting that now in 2026, we're back in a space race because we're trying to get there and get that base set up before the Chinese do. Always competing with China. And China wants it bad. They want their flag and their base on the moon. And so do we. But it's a big moon. There's lots of room for everybody. But it's really going to come down to, just like the Old West, get there and stake your territory.
Yeah, you want to be first. If you're not first, you're last.
Basically.
Right? So I think regardless Dallas. This is such a great opportunity, and to have somebody from our own backyard up in space, and this being his first time, astronaut Hansen being up there, is incredible. And that's the mission that he's on. He's not just going to space; he's going to outer space.
Did you fall for any April Fool's pranks yesterday?
Yes,
Yeah?
I'm even cutting you off because I was embarrassed.
Which one did you fall for? Because I fell for one.
Okay.
I can admit the one that I fell for.
I fell for two, actually, and I almost sent it to you to be like, can you believe this? And I'm so happy I didn't. It was the sidewalks in Toronto being heated for next year.
Okay, but why aren't they heated? We're about to spend a lot of money paying people to shovel the sidewalk, something you were always obligated to do for free anyway. But we're going to pay people to do this. We've got all those sidewalk trucks that cities keep buying, and all they really do is ruin the edges of people's lawn.
Yeah, so I thought, what a great opportunity.
Lay some strips in the sidewalk and heat them.
Okay, now
in
you
fact,
make me feel better.
driveways should come like that.
You make me feel so much better because I
They should.
literally was like, what a great idea. And then I saw April Fool's. I was like, am I stupid for falling for this? And then the other one was the TTC buses. They were going to have quiet time during busy hours.
Oh.
And I thought,
Not a
good
bad idea.
luck. Good luck. Imagine that. But that would be enjoyable.
The one I fell for was, maybe I just got too excited about the possibility. And it is kind of plausible, so I'm not going to be too hard on myself. But I saw a meme announcing that In-N-Out Burger is going to open their first Canadian location in Toronto.
I saw that too, and I too fell for it. So no, they were mean to do that because
Yes,
that
they
was
were.
a big mean tease. And why don't we have one?
Why don't we? It's 2026. We can put a man around the moon, and we don't have an In-N-Out
Slingshot.
Burger in Toronto yet.
Right? Get it together. That is not our fault. That is their fault for teasing and breaking our hearts again.
Do you remember, actually, it's been over the last number of weeks, I've been talking about Doug Ford quite a bit on the listener DMs portion,
Yes.
in particular of the podcast. And one of the things I've pointed out many times is the polls are a lagging indicator. So while all the controversial stuff that Doug Ford has been doing over the last little while has been going on, it's starting to show up in the polls. A new liaison poll is out this morning. It says Doug Ford's approval rating is just 31%. 65% disapprove.
I don't even know who those 31% are. Like, did he pay them to take that poll? Because I have not heard anybody say a nice thing about what he's been doing in a very long time.
When you ask, do you agree with the direction the province is going in? 61% say wrong direction. 33% say the right direction.
My gosh. Yeah, we're going in the wrong direction, and it is obvious.
When you look at the overall polling, and keep in mind, the Ontario Liberal Party doesn't even have a leader at the moment. So with no leader, they're only behind by 3 points. The Progressive Conservatives, Doug Ford's party, is at 39. The Liberals are at 36. The NDP is at 18.
They have to feel embarrassed.
Well, if an election were held today, it would be a very, very, very narrow Conservative minority government. 54 seats for the PCs, 51 for the Liberals, 16 for the NDP. The Liberals and NDP could very easily form a coalition and get the Conservatives out completely.
I mean, he's just not thinking clearly. He's not making decisions based on what the people, their needs are. I don't know what's wrong with him. I think he should have just left when he was on top. I'm a big believer. Leave when you're on the high before you start descending. And he is just on that ride going down fast.
Well, you know, the irony here is that there are some things that he's announced that I actually agree with, but I'm not helping him out at all. I'm not going to try and explain what he's talking about or translate from Ford speak to what voters understand. I'm not doing any of it. He cut that OSAP stuff, and frankly, I thought it was despicable that he did it. The fact that he tried to chastise students and accuse them all of being cheats and made fun of them for the courses they're taking.
Basket weaving, I thought, buddy, yeah. Terrible.
So I'm off the train. I don't know who's out there defending him now. And you're starting to see it in the polls. Hey, Doug, if you're listening, it's not too late. You get that OSAP stuff fixed. You can go ahead and cut OSAP all you want. If you want to, if you insist it needs to be done, go ahead. But like I've been saying from the beginning, you've got to give people notice. This should not kick in until 2030. If he makes that change, I'm open to talking about other possibilities. But frankly, it doesn't seem like he's interested. You understand that we have a healthcare crisis happening in this province and across the country. Doug Ford is not here dealing with that. He's off on a junket in Texas trying to be Captain Canada again.
Oh my gosh, I can't. This is what it bothers me about politicians is that, I guess you have to try to make deals at the end of the day, whatever. But you're out there just gallivanting, and we are the ones here feeling the effects of the decisions that you make. And they're not good decisions for the most part. Yeah, I was happy you got rid of the speed cameras. Perfect. Done. But he lost me at the tunnel.
Yeah, I think a lot of people bailed.
Lost me at that tunnel.
Somewhere between the tunnel, the island that he wants to build in the middle of Lake Ontario.
Right? Like, I can't.
The spa, all of it. Yeah, listen, Doug, do it. Fix this OSAP thing and you're going to win back some votes. But right now it's not looking good in those polls. Anna, over in Finland, a 79-year-old man was just given a $140,000 speeding ticket. I'm pointing this out because I like how they do it in Finland. His name is Anders Wiklov. He's one of the wealthiest people in Finland. He was doing 37 miles per hour in a 20 mile per hour zone. He got a ticket for $138,600. And the reason for that is in Finland, speeding fines and any traffic violation, the fine is based on how much money you make, not an overall blanket arbitrary number
like that.
Like we have here. Well, when you get challenged by the law, when you get a fine or something like that, it's not fair or relative to the situation you're in. Some people, a $200 fine is nothing. Just a piss in the ocean. They'll pay the $200 and go back to doing whatever it was that they were doing illegally.
That would have been him.
However, there's also a lot of people where $200 is the difference between being able to put food on the table for their family this month. And the fact that we just have blanket arbitrary fines, I don't think that's fair because it is disproportionately punishing people that don't have the same amount of money. Like I said earlier, the people who have money, they can go out and break the law with basic impunity because, wow, I'll pay a $200 fine. I don't care. I'm going to go as fast as I want. And if I get caught, big deal. I'll pay the fine. But that fine is a lot of money to someone who doesn't have a lot of money. Yeah. So that's why Finland does it. I think they're on the right track, and that's something that I think we should do here.
I agree. I would like to see that. I would hope because his fine was a lot and you want to stay rich, you don't want to keep getting caught and breaking the law in this way and having to pay that kind of money. So I hope it deters him. But I like the fact that it's based on his income. I think that's a fantastic idea. Bring it back here.
We had a great discussion earlier this week on our FM morning show on Light 92.1. You can hear that all across Southern Ontario or go to light92.ca and you can listen live. It's also on the iHeartRadio app. Over in London, a woman is going viral. She's at the center of a very highly publicized court ruling. The woman had sex with a pair of twins at separate times. One of those times, she got pregnant. And now, because the two brothers that she banged are twins.
Identical twins.
They don't know who the father is. Like DNA can't say for certain it's this father or that father.
Oh my gosh, she has two baby daddies for the price of one.
That's right.
Isn't that interesting?
DNA testing, they say, cannot show which twin fathered the woman's child. Only one brother can be listed on the birth certificate, though. The mother and one twin asked for parental rights. The judge said the case may take longer. He said it's equally likely that each of the brothers is the father. And until we get more advanced technology, they just can't figure it out.
Oh my gosh.
When the baby gets older, they may find out which one specifically is their father. But right now, it's up in the air. One of them's on the birth certificate, but that might not even be right.
That's such a wild story. I feel like I'm listening to an episode of Maury where it's like, you are not the father, or Jerry Springer. I don't know. But she slept with both of them within a short amount of days. So, yeah, you can't even really track it either to see who the father would be. And you can't say, oh, when the baby gets older, maybe it'll look like, but it'll look like both of them because they're identical twins. This chick, good for you, girl. You get yours. But, I mean, I feel for the child.
I don't understand how that happens. Like, do brothers not talk? How did you end up slamming the same girl within 4 days of each other? How does that happen?
I know brothers that like to try the same things. And if you're twins, maybe that's something. Maybe she couldn't tell the difference and they worked something out. I don't know what their agreement is, but obviously I don't think they just thought they would end up in this predicament. But it is an interesting story. Oh, my gosh. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I find it funny.
I find it gross.
You find it gross.
What are you
and
doing?
I'm like, oh, girl, get yours. Hey. But then there's a child now in the mix, and that's where, reality sets in, and it's not just a funny story. Mm-hmm. Oh, but yeah. That's incredible.
There was one other story. We'll do one more before we
Okay,
get to the listener
okay.
DMs. There was a story that came out earlier this week, and it was about a woman who thinks she's discovered some sort of a hack for dating. And I think people have lost track of what the term hack means, because this isn't really a hack. It's just a different method. She's now making men fill out a Google survey. And if they do well on the survey, then they can advance to the part where they start talking and decide if they want to go out. That's right. You have to go and fill out a Google form before you can even start the courting process with this woman.
See, no, I like to be disappointed in real time. I don't need you to fill out a survey. I like to just go through the motions.
You want to be surprised.
I want to be surprised. And really, who doesn't lie on surveys, right? Like, it's like a resume she's essentially asking for without asking for it. So they're going to put their best information forward on the survey in hopes of landing a date with her. And then you get out there and then you're going to see what it's really like.
I am just not interested in doing paperwork. There's no woman that I want to go out with enough that I would fill out a Google form and basically apply to be able to try to get a date with her.
Like, who do you think you
get
are?
all the way out of here. I am not doing it.
Honestly, swipe left. No, like that's not a hack. That's just ridiculous. And she's getting some attention. Good for you. But I don't think it's for the right reasons. I think you're ridiculous. And if somebody sent me a form to fill out, you best believe they would be getting something not nice back.
I'm wondering what kind of questions are on the survey because of that. Now there's no shortage of other women that have thought, what a great idea. I'm going to try that too.
No.
Like, are you asking, what do you like to do when you're bored on a Friday night? Are you asking, how big is your junk? Are you asking, how many times a week do you prefer to do it? Like, what sort of stuff?
Do you still talk to your ex?
Do you still talk to your ex? Maybe that's fair.
Are you still friends with your ex? How did your last relationship end? Trying to gauge if they're emotionally intelligent just by filling out a survey. But that's the thing. People are so good at texting these days. And then I'll go out on a date with them and they can't talk to save their life.
Is that right?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm watching paint dry. I'm like, spit it out. Why are you even here? You can't talk? Like, you were so good and clever when it came to text messaging, but that's because they have time to come up with the thought and then to send out whatever they were feeling. But when you're in front of them, it's like, this is unbelievable.
So you've actually experienced that phenomenon.
Oh, I'm not kidding. It's awful. It is awful.
Okay, but if we could just get back to a place where people talk in person, you could mitigate a lot of this for yourself. If you met someone in a bar, for example, you would find out right then and there whether or not they're able to have a conversation or they're just really good at putting together some clever text messages.
Well, that's just it. So now, before I even agree to going out on a date, I talk to them on the phone or we'll do a FaceTime.
Oh, do you FaceTime? Oh, really?
I've done a FaceTime because the pictures
I don't know why I find that weird, but I don't want to FaceTime with somebody before I go out.
But it's because pictures also don't look like them for the most part.
That's messed up too.
Yes.
There are cameras everywhere. There is no shortage of ways that you could come up with an accurate depiction of yourself for your online profile. Why are people still putting up photos that don't even look like them?
And the amount of filtered photos. And we talk about women having filtered photos. Men have so many filtered photos that I see online. It's unbelievable.
What are they covering up?
I don't know.
You're probably going to see the person in real life. Like, what do you think the filter is going to accomplish?
Gosh, that's what I'm saying. And then I don't swipe because that's the first thought. Like, why are you so filtered? I don't get it. And then, but yeah, so if I make it to the point before I think, okay, I'm going to go and meet them for coffee, not a drink, coffee to start, I will do a FaceTime because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to sit at the table waiting for them to come and being like, you're not who I thought you were. And I'm not vain or shallow, but like when you expect to see somebody in the forms that they provided to you, it's just makes you feel weirded out, I find.
Okay, so let me ask you then.
Yeah, please.
You've done the FaceTime, you've had the conversation, and you've made the decision, nah, this isn't going anywhere.
Yes.
Do you tell them, hey, listen, I didn't like this call at all. I don't think you're very good at conversation and not all that smart, and you don't look like your picture. So we're not going to do this. Will you actually tell them you didn't pass this test, you're not going on to the date phase?
I just say, hey, I just don't think we have chemistry in more than a friendship type of way.
And do they ever agree with you, or do they say, hear me out, give me a second chance?
Yeah, I've had both. Where
Really?
they're like trying to sell me. Oh, I was really busy. I had things on my mind. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm busy too. So I just don't think it's going to go any further than this. We're good. We're solid.
Interesting.
I don't need any more friends.
Do you keep in touch with them? Like, are you looking for friends?
No,
or is it
man.
just once you tried the dating route and there's no chemistry, that's just the end of it? I'll
I have
never
enough
hear from them again.
friends. I don't need it. I don't need any more.
Got
Unless
it.
like you've been in my inner circle, we bumped into each other because friends know friends, that would be the only way. But if you're just some guy I met online, I don't need you. We're good. I send you on your way with happy thoughts.
Have you had any luck with the apps? Like, has anything worked for you there?
I've been out on a few dates. I dated somebody from the app for a few months, and it just didn't work out. People don't share all their truths.
What do you mean?
Some people say they're over certain things. They're not over certain things.
Like exes and stuff?
Yes, or people are still very much present when they say they're not. And when somebody bashes an ex, okay, really think about that. Why are they still bashing that person if they're over them? To me, it's like they say they're over them, but are they? And then you find out later they're still in the picture somehow. So
really?
It's dirty. It's dirty.
Huh.
So then I just cold turkey them. You don't get a response from me.
Interesting.
I have respect for myself and my time, and you didn't respect me, so see you later.
Wow. Okay. Hey, you start off on a line. It's not going to go anywhere.
Well, that's just it. But then I've met nice people, very nice people. Again, there was no chemistry. And I wish them well. And that's just it. We gave it a try, and it wasn't for us.
Okay. Do you tell them what you do? Because you have a fairly public-facing job.
Not right away.
You don't, eh?
Not right away.
No.
Because the thing that I've discovered over the years, people like me for the persona of me. Especially when I was in TV out east, people were like, oh, she's Anna from this. I was Anna from something. Oh, she's Anna, the radio host. Oh, Anna works with Scott Fox. Oh, that's so cool. And they get lost in that, and they don't take the time to get to know me. And I'm a firecracker, and I'm sarcastic.
Who calls himself a firecracker?
I am. I'm a firecracker. I'm sarcastic. You got to keep up. And they like this thing that they've built up about me. And sometimes I feel like I don't meet their expectation. And so it doesn't work out. But at the end of the day, they didn't meet my expectations. So bye.
Good. Hey, you got to be happy with the situation you're in, right?
It took me a long time. I feel like at 40, this is the most confident I've ever felt going into the dating world. I know exactly who I am now. It took me a long, long time. I'm not perfect, for sure. But I definitely know what I'm bringing to the table.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
You got to know your worth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in every situation in life, whether you're trying to get yourself a new job or you're trying to get yourself a new partner, you've got to know your worth and establish that before you can go on any further. I think that's great that you've taken the time to measure that up.
Yeah, and dating's hard, man. 2026 dating is like, it is a dumpster fire for some of us.
Why is it hard, though? That part I don't understand, because it seems like this should be a very easy thing. In fact, it seems like it should be easier than ever, because all the stuff that you used to have to do over a coffee and things like that, now you can do it virtually, and you can just cut right to the let's go out on a date.
Well, I know, but it's not. And people are talking to multiple people, which is good. That's how you date. That's how you get to know different people. But I just feel like people always think the grass is greener. So they like you, but there could be a chance I could match with somebody better than you.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
So
yes.
I would think that unless you're just looking for a hookup, if you find somebody and you're going to go out on a date with them and you think, yeah, this could actually go somewhere, that should be the end of your online dating, until it doesn't work and you're actually looking for someone else.
Yeah.
Like, you can talk to different people, but once you start dating someone, it's one at a time, please. That's what I would think.
And people, I will respect, although I have come across some of the bios and they're like, only here for the weekend looking for a good time. I respect that that's what you're looking for, you say it. But for me personally, it's like, I'm looking for a long-term relationship. And then you go out with them and they say all the things that they thought you wanted to hear. And then you get into like a month or two and then they're like, no, I actually don't want kids. I actually don't want to settle down. Yeah. And it's like, you just wasted my time. If you had just been straightforward, you would have allowed me to make the decision whether or not I wanted to continue this. But you took that opportunity away from me, and now I'm done with you. Yeah. Gosh, be so happy you have Diana. God, it sucks out here sometimes.
Being single?
Yeah, like, it's nice to be on my own. I like my own company. But obviously, I would love to have a romantic partner who gets me and we can enjoy time together on a Friday night and sit and watch TV. Like, I like the mundane things. I look forward to those things. Those are the things I love most about being in a relationship. But it's hard. It's hard to find that somebody you can just sit quiet with.
Wow. Well said.
Thank you.
I hope it works out for you.
Thank you. This was a great therapy session.
Therapy. You know what? I really should charge for these things. I do this all the time with my buddies and stuff, and I hear them out, and I'll offer a little bit of criticism or compliments when they're due, but you just need somebody to listen.
Well, and the thing is, you talk about your relationship, and then I'll be talking to some guys online, and then I hear you and the nice things you do for your partner, and I was like, what? I'm getting gypped here. No, I know it is possible. Guys do, and they will go the extra mile for people they care about. So thank you. You set the bar.
Okay. Well, Hey, I didn't even try and do that, so that's good.
The nice part.
You ready to get some DMs?
Yeah, now that I've gotten that all off my chest.
Yeah, this was quite the ad for yourself here in the
in the dating world.
There you
Call
go.
me. All right. So we're going to start off. We got a few here from Sab. They write, just finished the pod today. I feel Canada not calling out other countries like China and India is done on purpose, not only to do business with them, but to possibly bring that mindset here. I could be wrong, but it would be a stretch to think forced labor would be something Canada and the federal government would look the other way if it happened. I wonder if that's where these foreign workers would come into play. I don't know. Just a thought.
Oh, interesting theory there. If I may, Sab, it seems like what this person is suggesting is that we're bringing in all of these foreign workers. They're low skilled. Yeah. Under any other normal immigration circumstance, these are not the people we would be importing to fill jobs that we need filled in Canada. We're just bringing anybody and everybody who wants to go or come. So the theory here is that because we're more or less condoning now child and forced labor in China by no longer calling it out, that maybe we're setting up for forced labor eventually here in Canada, and those are the people who would do the forced labor. Interesting theory. I obviously don't know if there's anything to that, but I will say we're bringing in way, way, way too many people still. It's funny because what you see on the news doesn't match what's going on with the government. And let me tell you what I mean by that. We're still letting people come here. People are coming here all the time that I think if we did a poll of Canadians, they would agree that person shouldn't be here. There's no reason for that person to come in. That person doesn't have a refugee claim, but we're still letting them in en masse. They're coming all the time. But on the news, they keep playing that clip of the immigration minister or the prime minister saying, we have fixed the immigration problem. And people just go to bed easy thinking, oh, okay, cool, we fixed it. They don't even know that it's still going on. It's just going on in different ways. We haven't stopped the wave of people coming. At most, all we did was slow it down. They're still coming here. And I think, generally speaking, Canadians would be outraged. You'll see a few stories on the news, people that were ordered deported, never left, and they've committed multiple crimes since they were supposed to have left, and they're still here. Those always get a lot of attention, but think about the stories that don't get any attention. We're talking hundreds of thousands of people that are not supposed to be here that are, and they're all getting our health care, and they're taking jobs, and it's wrong, Anna. So many people are fired up about the immigration issue. A lot of the DMs I get are on that topic specifically.
I've even heard people who are taking advantage of the system laughing, like, I don't have to pay for this, but you do.
It's crazy, right? Some of them are openly rubbing it in our faces.
And it's like, how do you expect me to receive that? That's just wrong.
The one that gets me is those that are getting the enhanced benefits that Canadians don't get. Like us that actually pay the bill by paying our taxes. We don't get things like all the eye exams. We don't get prescription drugs. We don't get all of the extras. We don't get physio, for example, included. We got to pay out of pocket for stuff like that. These people do get it.
I just don't
They're
understand.
on the enhanced benefits, and it's wrong. But what do we do about it? Like, we can only say so many times we don't like this. The government just keeps on going with it. It's crazy.
We have to just talk about it loudly so they know that we know.
People should not be afraid to talk about it. There's a lot of people who don't want to get engaged in the conversation because they're afraid they'll be accused of being racist. Guilty. I was like that at one point too. I didn't really want to touch the immigration issue because I didn't want it to come out, oh, he's being racist, blah, blah, blah. I'm not. And neither are you. There's nothing wrong with calling it out. The people who get the most benefit here in Canada should be the ones who paid into the system. Actual Canadian taxpayers. People that come over here and take advantage of our generosity. They like our milk and honey, as Don Cherry pointed it out. They should not be getting more than Canadian taxpayers get. It's wrong. These people are here on an asylum claim that is completely bogus. They should not be allowed to stay. But they are allowed to stay for years. And people assume that that's ended. It hasn't ended. It's still going on. And frankly, you don't have to be afraid to call that out. You're not being racist by suggesting that Tim Hortons is completely out to lunch, claiming they can't get Canadians to do the job, so they need to import foreign workers. I think generally speaking, they want to import family members. They want to import friends. They want to get as many of their countrymen here as possible. And I'm not centering out one specific race, but that's what's going on. And it's a lie that there's no Canadians willing to do the job, but the government looks the other way on it. Oh, really? Tim Hortons in downtown Toronto? You can't find any Canadians that want to work for you. No problem. You can bring in a temporary foreign worker. That's such BS. There's probably thousands of people that would take that job at Tim's just to have an income. But the government looks the other way. These companies put in their request and they get approved. It's wrong.
And then I feel bad for those who did immigrate here, in, let's just say, even that particular race, and they did all the right things, but then they get lumped into those who don't do it right. And I'm an immigrant. We came here, but nothing was given to us. We had to work very hard to get to where we are.
Well, that's the way it used to be, right? I mean, if you came here, you had to be able to sustain yourself. You needed a sponsor.
Nobody helped us.
And nobody helped you, right? Like,
nobody. They
weren't even there with the ESL lessons so you could learn a little bit of English. Like, you were on your own to figure it out.
It was the truth. Yeah. So it makes me angry in that sense, those who try to cheat the system, because I know that my parents didn't have it easy while raising two kids in a foreign country, and the help would have been nice back then. So to see somebody who is abusing the system, that's where it really bothers me. But if somebody's here and they're trying to make a life for themselves and they did the right things, I support them getting their citizenship or their permanent resident card. But the rest is just like the asylum. It just makes me angry.
One more on this, and then we'll go to the next question. I think we're far too generous with Canadian citizenship and permanent residency. I think you should have to come here and prove that you can be and want to be a Canadian before you get given Canadian citizenship. And that should require many years of being a landed immigrant or whatever the status is. You should have to earn it. You should have to pay into the tax system for a number of years. All of those things should happen before you get given citizenship, which, by the way, you can pass on to your own kids, but not until you've gone through a rigorous test. Somebody coming here on a Tuesday and basically being treated like royalty for a few months and then getting permanent residency or Canadian citizenship without having done anything or paid a penny into our system, that's wrong. We got to stop that.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's terrible. And it puts a bad taste in your mouth. That's just really what it is at the end of the day, honestly.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
What else you got?
All right, from Chantel, the White House ballroom.
That's a neat one.
Yes.
Did you hear that episode when I was talking about it?
No, I did not. So when I actually was interested to hear what you had to say about this, because Chantel says, all I have to say is, Dre, how do you say Dre's last name?
Dossier?
Thank you.
Okay.
I didn't want to butcher it. So Dre Dossier on Substack and on TikTok, she's been talking about the bunker and the data center for months and has receipts.
I believe that. Hey, President Trump confirmed the other day in the middle of a news conference on Air Force One that this ballroom that he's building at the White House, it's funny, people made fun of it. Oh, why do you need a ballroom and blah, blah, blah. And Trump said, don't worry about it. I'm going to pay for it out of my own money. Okay. The White House needs a ballroom. And so a lot of people just took for granted, okay, yeah, I guess it makes sense for state dinners and for like the White House press correspondence dinner and that sort of stuff. It makes sense to have a big ballroom there where you can entertain a lot of people. Underneath it, the military is building something. And Trump confirmed that underneath, the military is building a huge complex underneath his new ballroom. What the hell is that for?
Yeah.
Why was that never disclosed? That the military actually wanted to do construction. Trump putting in a ballroom is really just to cover it up.
Damn.
And why is the military building at the White House on Pennsylvania Ave? That makes no sense to me. The military could build a bunker or a data center anywhere in America. Why specifically in the heart of Washington, D.C.? That's a really weird one that I don't understand, Anna.
I'm going to have to go and get Dre Dossier's stuff on TikTok. I want to see these receipts.
Cool. And you said there's a Substack too?
Oh my gosh. Yes, on Substack. Yep.
Okay, great.
Interesting.
I'll look into that. I'm very curious.
Okay.
What are they doing there and
What are
why?
they doing? Oh, that reminds me of the TV show Paradise.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on with Trump in particular and his administration where I know there's a bigger picture.
Yeah.
I know that he's you think he's doing something for one reason and it turns out he's doing it for a completely other reason. Good or bad. It's never as black and white as it seems with Trump. There's been a lot lately though where I've thought that's really weird. Yeah. You know, the one that I'm still hung up on, it was around this time last year, him and Elon Musk were joking, hey, we should go to Fort Knox and show America their gold. And then they joked, is the gold even there? Huh. Does the U.S. still have all of their gold stored at Fort Knox or not? They mentioned that for a reason, and then they never brought it up again.
Oh, it's just like an Easter egg.
Somebody go to Fort Knox and find out if the gold is still there. The American people probably want to know if they've got gold reserves. And if they're not there, what the hell went on and where did that gold go? Canada has no gold, in case you're wondering. Trudeau sold it all off. We have no gold reserves in this country.
Isn't that lovely?
We have gold in the ground.
Okay.
But we have no gold reserve.
All right. Well, we're going to leave that there and move on to a different one. And it's from Scott. Hey, Scott. Sorry I missed you at the Rock game a couple weeks ago. Was hoping to meet up. I've been thinking about gas prices. If I've got it right, gas taxes are a percentage of the total price. So as prices rise because of the conflict, the taxes go up too.
That's true.
If the government wanted to help, they could have capped those increases so they weren't tied to the rising prices. But of course, they didn't. That didn't happen. Another thing, with more electric vehicles on the road, those drivers aren't paying gas tax, so the tax base keeps shrinking. EVs are also heavier than gas cars, which can take more of a toll on the roads. Sure, it's been a rough winter, but I think that's part of why we're seeing more potholes too. So it does feel a bit unfair that they may be causing more wear and tear and not be paying into road taxes. At what point do EV drivers start contributing?
That's a good question. I really don't know. I never thought of it like that. But yeah, I suppose if, in theory, back in the day, the taxes on gas were meant to simply improve the roads. And they were supposed to take the revenue they made from the tax on gas and improve our roads. Now it just gets thrown into the general coffers, and we all know how the government wastes our money. It's crazy. Every level of government is wasting our money in some way. So I'm not sure about that. But you're right. The EV drivers, they don't get gas. So what's their contribution to all of this? And there's no sticker fee anymore to renew your license plate. So how are they contributing? And they also get the perks of being able to drive in the HOV lanes as well because they're an electric vehicle. Yeah. That's a really great point. On the gas taxes, though, yeah, he's absolutely right. As the cost of gas goes up, the government makes even more money because they charge tax on the total. Mm-hmm. That's in addition to the carbon taxes, the excise taxes, and stuff like that. If the government wanted to try and soften the blow for Canadians, since they didn't build any pipelines or refineries yet, no shovels in the ground, nothing approved so far, we've got to live with the current world system. And that world system has gone crazy because of the conflict over in Iran. So as we're paying the global prices right now, way more than we should be, the government is making even more money than they used to. They could have followed the suit of other countries who cut their gas taxes, but Carney doesn't want to do it. I don't know if it's because he doesn't want to lose the money or he doesn't want to have to reintroduce it eventually. But as we record here, Anna, Pierre Poilievre is calling on the government to slash those taxes completely for the rest of the year. That would be a major boost to the economy if people could save that kind of money every time they fill up. I think they estimated it would save the average driver $1,200 a year or something like that.
So nice. Like, steal that idea. He's offering it up. Like, just take it. You're not better or worse. Just take it and help us out. We need it.
At a minimum, though, they could have capped it. You know, back when gas was, say, $1.30 a liter, which was 6 weeks ago. It was $1.30 a
now
liter.
Look at us.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But back then, they could have said, okay, based on $1.30 a liter, we're making about 45 cents a liter in tax. We're going to cap it at that, and it'll never be more than 45 cents a liter. By the way, 1 liter of gas, the government makes 45 cents off of every liter of gas sold in this country. How are they broke? How are they broke with that much gas being used? That alone, how are we broke? We pay 50% of our income in tax. 45 cents a liter of gas is tax. It is crazy how much we're paying, and the government is still broke. Yeah. It's nuts, Anna.
Yeah.
They could have capped it. Now the conservatives are calling on them to eliminate the gas tax altogether for the rest of the year. I would love to say, that's great, but it'll never happen.
I don't see it happening.
This government is never going to do it.
And
we're just going to have, it's almost like they want us to go bankrupt, you know?
Ugh.
Hard to see it any other way.
Yeah. Well, we have one from David now. He says, "Hey, Scott, I was listening to the pod today. Another great episode.
Thank you.
You're right about builders not passing savings onto buyers."
Oh, so this is about the announcement that
the HST cut.
They're cutting the HST and they're going to slash development fees for the builders. Okay.
Yeah. So David says, "Hey, I manage a team of about 800 mortgage brokers, and I've already heard from around 10 agents that builders are pulling back discounts now that the HST removal is in place.
Yep.
They're raising prices and saying there's no need for discounts anymore. I feel like it's pure greed. I'll try to get you more specific examples. Thanks again for the great work that you do."
Hey, you got to draw attention to stuff like that. And this is what the point of this podcast is. I try and give you more context and clarity than you get from the mainstream media news. And I have a number of people that contribute to the pod by sending in stuff just like that.
Yeah.
This person, obviously very connected in the industry, in the mortgage side of it, is saying that they've already heard from builders. They're taking all the discounts off. They've got this unsold inventory. And they went to the government, hat in hand. Can you help us out? Can you help us out? So the government did it. They bought it hook, line, and sinker. Sure, no problem. We'll help you out. Take the HST off for now. That'll be great. Okay, so you take the HST off. That makes it more affordable for us. But the builder who was offering discounts to try and sell it and still couldn't sell it, they're taking the discount off now so that the only rebate you get of any kind is the HST rebate. If the builders were ready to take a $30,000 loss on it, the fact that we've taken the HST off, they should still be willing to take that $30,000 loss. It should be that much cheaper for someone who wants to buy it. But that's not what they're doing. A lot of people are trying to convince me, Anna, and it's hard to disagree with them, that this was nothing but a gift to the builders. The builders said, we're not building anything anymore until you guys help us out. And it'll be the HST cut. It'll be the development fees. And God knows what else is coming down the line. But that's of no value to the average Canadian taxpayer if they don't pass the savings on to us.
Yeah.
We're really just handing money to builders. It's almost like laundering it. I'm not accusing them of laundering money, by the way, but that's almost the process you see. The builders have no more risk. The government has basically made this risk-free, and they're still not building. They're going to make a lot of money. They're going to not take a loss at all on all these unsold condos. They'll eventually sell those off. They don't even have to discount them anymore because the government did the hard work. Sorry, the taxpayers did the hard work. And I don't know if this is actually going to achieve the end result that we want. People want affordable homes, granted. But we also have to think about the homes that are out there. And there's a lot of people who are losing equity in their house every day. And for a lot of them, they were banking on that equity.
I know.
You know, I don't think that anybody should consider their home to be a savings account. But if it was worth $1 million a year ago and it's worth $800,000 now, you lost $200,000.
And that stings.
That stings a lot. But it's amazing how many people haven't made that connection yet. How much money they're losing without even realizing they're losing money. Oh. The whole goal should have been to build entry-level homes and to build exit-level homes. I said this years ago when the government announced they were going to build 1 million homes and they were going to do it all through condos. People don't want the condos. They don't want them. And we've proved it. I was right again. What did people want? They wanted starter homes that were smaller, modest, no bells and whistles, but you could get into them at a reasonable price. We also needed seniors' homes. And I don't mean big nursing home buildings. I mean subdivisions specifically for seniors, like the villages in Florida. If we had built homes so that seniors could sell off their big 4-bedroom double-car driveway and garage, if they could sell that off and go to a house that's much more scaled for a retired couple and cash out that equity, that'd be great. They'd have a community to live in with like-minded individuals, all kinds of services that are aimed at seniors in one spot. That would have freed up a whole ton of home inventory for families that could use a 4-bedroom house with a double garage and driveway. But we didn't do that. So seniors, they didn't get out of their homes. Now those homes are dropping in value. It's amazing how much money people lost because they screwed this up years ago and went all in on condos instead of building wartime modular homes for young people that are cheap for them to get into, and then incentivizing getting seniors out of those big homes that they currently own. Now the seniors are losing money. Young people still can't afford to get into the market. Families can't afford to get into the market. And we're no further ahead except we've got a whole bunch of unsold condos to the point where the government had to take the HST off of it. It's crazy how badly they have bungled the housing market, Anna.
It's terrible. It's so sad. Well, that leads me to this next question perfectly. It's from Nurse Julie. She writes, "Hey, Scott, what's your thoughts on buying a home right now? Will prices keep dropping or should we wait it out?"
Yeah, that's $1 million question.
Right?
Is that Nurse Julie?
Yeah, Nurse Julie.
Okay, cool. I love nurses. Yeah, it's a great question. First off, where do you see the housing market going? You could, if you wanted to, get into the housing market.
Yep.
Do you think now's a good time to buy, or do you think there's going to be a better time to buy coming?
Ooh, okay. So I knew when everything was selling like hotcakes, it was a terrible time to buy. I knew that values would drop and depreciate, which is what we're seeing right now. I think that I would wait it out a little bit longer, but I think it is a buyer's market right now.
It is a buyer's market
Honestly,
right now, for sure.
I definitely believe that.
I really don't think it's going to stay that way. Listen, as I just talked about how much money people, seniors in particular, have lost. They've paid off their home. They had a home worth $1 million. That was going to be their retirement fund. Now that home is worth $800,000. It's only a loss if you sell. Only a loss if you sell. I would encourage everybody, don't sell a thing. If you don't get what you want for your house, don't sell it. I'm sure there's people who would love to move and want to go here or there for whatever reason. Don't sell. Right now, the buyers are coming in lowballing everybody because they can.
They can.
And there's a lot of people that are in a situation where they just can't afford to stay where they are because interest rates and what have you, or they lost a job. And that I understand. That's a tragedy. People are being forced into a situation where they're going to lose money. I'm here to tell you, if you don't need to sell, stay put. Get the market back up because it's not too late to fix this. The government screwed this all up with condos. And again, you should go back and listen to some of my old pods because I said exactly this, that this was going to happen, and it's happening now. The government has to bail out builders who built way too many condos when they should have been building homes for like $100,000 that young people could get into. And even if it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, that's what people wanted. Something of their own, a little bit of land to call their own. And we also need to build areas to get seniors out of those big family mansions that they own and get them into something more scaled to their size. That would have freed up homes for families.
Yeah.
That's not what they did. But again, it's not too late to fix this. As long as people don't sell, you preserve the prices in your subdivision. Don't sell unless you absolutely have to. Get those prices back up. There should be 3 price points. Seniors homes in those senior subdivisions, entry level homes for people who want to get into the market and start building up some equity, and then all the homes that we currently have. And those are the ones that they are worth a lot of money, and they should be worth a lot of money. People paid a lot of money for them. If we start letting the subdivisions, those prices crash, we're screwed, Anna.
Yeah, man.
The amount of people that are going to be underwater on their mortgage where they owe more than the home is worth, it's going to be devastating.
Yeah.
Foreclosures, bankruptcies, all of these things are coming if we don't protect the real estate market that we have. And frankly, I don't know if there's enough people thinking about it big picture wise, but I'm also aware, I know that there are mortgage brokers, there are bankers, there are realtors and more that listen to this pod every day. Some of them are probably screaming at their radio. No, we can't do it like that. Scott, you're wrong. I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to slide into my DMs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the way I see it. There should be real cheap homes for younger people to get into that you can get into with like a $5,000-$10,000 down payment.
That's what I did on my first home.
There should be homes for people that are downsizing.
Yeah.
You're going to sell off the big family mansion and it's just grandma and grandpa ready to go into a senior's area.
Yeah.
Great. So you buy one of these for $200,000 and you get all the bells and whistles and seniors options that you need, but you've put $800,000 in the bank, and then there's another $1 million home on the market for a family that needs a 4-bedroom house and a bit of a yard and a bigger driveway because they have more cars and all these sort of things. It can all work. We don't have to go hog wild building millions and millions of condos and things like that. We need to build starter subdivisions, and we need to build senior subdivisions.
I
know
vote
what I
for
mean?
you.
Well, that's just thinking it through.
It's the truth, though.
As society moves through life, that's the stage that people are at.
Yeah.
Seniors got to get out of the houses they're in, but they're not going to sell and lose the amount of money they stand to lose right now. So they're going to stay put. The government is doing everything wrong with the housing market. They have mismanaged it completely, and it's sad.
All right. So Nurse Julie, I hope he answered your question there.
I don't think I did. I think I walked her around in circles and never actually answered the question.
But it's a hard answer to put out there because I think it's a personal preference.
If it were me, I would not be buying anything right now.
I wouldn't be buying either.
Except
Not
maybe
right
something,
now.
hey, if something is brand new on the market and you can get it for 15 or 13% off with the HST cut, maybe.
But
buying a resale home right now, there's a lot of reason to think that it could go down, but there's just as much reason to think prices could go back up.
Yeah.
There's a few economists that think the real estate market is going to rebound for the exact reason that I just said. People are not going to take that much of a loss, and they're just going to hold firm until they get the price they want.
all right, we'll see what happens, but that is good. I do like the walk we just took with that.
Good.
All right, so Jeff writes, hey, there's not much I can't stand more than Oprah. Seems at least once a week it is automatically downloaded as something I might also like. No other podcast I listen to does this. Why?
Okay, Jeff. So here's the thing, and you're not the first person to ask me about it, but I'm glad you did so that I can address this on the pod. When you get a notification that I have posted a new episode, it'll say, new episode of Scott Fox After 9. Today he's talking about Pierre Poilievre and the gas tax cut. But then you'll get another notification that said you should also listen to the Oprah podcast, or you should listen to Joe Rogan or whatever. And he's wondering, why do I get that second notification? Because occasionally people will click it. And then they end up listening to an episode of Oprah when they wanted to listen to me. And I'm nothing like the Oprah podcast.
Very different.
So here's the real story behind that. I put out a lot of hours in a month of content. You know, I do about 45 minutes to an hour, 5 times a week. That's a lot of storage space, and it's a lot of bandwidth that I use because I get more downloads than the average bear does. So there's a cost to having my podcast out there and distributed as widely as it is, especially with the amount of content that I put out. So the podcast platform is called Libsyn. They asked, can we put these recommended things in there and then we can offset some of the cost that you're paying for the hosting? So I thought, yeah, let's make a deal. So the reason you get that second one is purely to offset my cost on hosting the podcast, because there is a tangible amount of money that I have to pay every month to have this available online in as many places as it is. All that does is offset the cost a bit. I know it's annoying. I get it. Nobody likes 2 notifications when you really only wanted 1. But it just keeps my costs down. I could get rid of them. It's going to cost me more money to do the pod, and I don't really want to pay more if I don't have to. So the fact that they're allowed to run those recommended pods in my pod, it's just a cost-cutting thing for me.
I didn't know all that. That's interesting, because I've seen those before and I didn't understand the reason or rhyme, but now we know.
Yeah, it's nothing on your end. It's on my end. I allowed the podcast platform to be able to run those, and it was really just a matter of, I don't really want to pay as much as you guys wanted to host my pod. I'm sorry I use up so much damn bandwidth on you, but I have a big audience. That's all there is to it.
Perfect. Okay, and lastly, this one is from Anonymous. Hey, Scott, another kind of personal question. Just wondering how much radio DJs make. Does it depend on the time he or she is on air? Is it hourly, daily? How does it work?
How much do radio DJs make? That's a good question. And that's really changed over the years because radio does not pay very well these days. I'll tell you that right now.
You said that. It's so true, because people think that we live like kings and queens, but we do it for passion, not for pay.
Well, you do it because it's a job, and this is technically all we're qualified to do in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you the truth. It does depend on the market you're in. And certain markets are bigger than others. In Toronto, I maintain there's only one major market in Toronto. And most people would agree with me. except the people that are on the radio in the medium markets. Toronto's the only large market in Canada.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't consider Vancouver necessarily a large market. I don't think of Montreal necessarily as a large market because there's large markets in America that are very comparable to Toronto, and Vancouver, Montreal, Calgary, they're not even close in size.
They're their large market.
They're, large market, I guess, for Canada. And in the large markets, you do make more. If you do a morning show or an afternoon show, you'll probably make more than the person who's on during the workday or the person who's on at night. Mm-hmm. It also depends on how much you're willing to do. There's a lot of radio people that are on multiple different stations. And some of them, they're live, they're simulcast, or they're syndicated. Others, they sit in a studio and they record a radio show for a station that's like 4 provinces away. There's people that are it's called voice tracking, and they'll voice track stations across Canada. And if you do a lot of stations that each pay a little bit of money, you can make a decent amount of money doing it, but it's a lot of work and it is hard on your voice, and it's hard to be that creative and that relatable to that many different places at once. So it is demanding work. Don't think for a second that all we do is put a song on and in between we talk.
Thank you for saying that.
A lot of work to it. In a major market like Toronto, if you're doing a morning show, you can make pretty good money. You're making 6 figures.
And that's always
roughly
been the goal for some, like the Mecca is being on a morning show there.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know that the average radio person is making any more than anybody else is. Like, I'm pretty sure there's probably teachers that make more than a lot of radio people.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and they get more benefits.
Put it this way, and we're not allowed. One of the things radio people or radio companies do is when they hire you, they'll say, "Hey, we want to hire you, and you're going to do this shift." The first thing they do, the very first thing these crooks do, is make you sign that you won't tell anybody else how much you're making.
Oh, it's true.
It's crazy.
It's true.
That's like step one. You're not allowed to tell anyone else how much money you make.
It's true, actually.
Hey, listen, I mean, there's a lot of industries where they don't want you to tell others how much you're making. Fine, no problem. But radio is a small industry and people talk. Like, the nearest I can tell, if you're on the radio in an even halfway to decent market, you're going to make anywhere between $40,000 and $140,000, maybe $120,000. I would say that's probably the average. Low and high, the median is probably somewhere in the middle, and that's if you're doing all the extras. You can get that $120,000. There's also people in Toronto that are making $500,000 to do morning radio. They get paid very, very well, but they've been doing it a long time, and that's all there is to it.
Damn.
But as those people retire, the people who replace them will not be making money like that. Basically, radio's coming down to, I'd say the average is between $60,000 and $100,000 is the average radio salary.
That sounds pretty good. I remember starting, it was like $32,000. I'll never forget. I thought it was rich.
My first radio contract was for $19,000 to work 5 days a week.
Yeah, me too. It's crazy. Wow, times are different.
Yeah, we don't get paid by the hour. Most radio shows are a 4-hour show, and there's usually about an hour of prep, post, and pre.
Yeah.
And it's about a 6-hour day, I'd say. Average money at best. I mean, if you don't get into radio because you want the money.
Thank you for saying that. No, there's a passion and a love and the connection. So,
having said that, though, experience counts. If you have got a good resume, you've done multiple different formats or worked in multiple different markets or built up an audience on your own, you can stop. You can do better than that. You can, absolutely.
Yes.
Like, there are some stations that still pay well, but I'm thinking of stations in like southwestern Ontario, northern Alberta. Like, those people are making $50,000-$60,000 a year to do a daytime shift. That's all there is to it.
That's just, and you'll take it because you want to work.
That's right. And by the way, there's no new radio stations opening. Have you noticed that? There's a lot closing, but there's no new ones opening.
So you will take what you get.
That's exactly it. That was the last DM.
Yeah, it was.
Lots of fun today, Anna. Great chat.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you as well.
You.
Happy Passover to anyone celebrating. And I will catch you right back here Monday.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have to work on Monday, don't we?
We do. Yay.
Why isn't Easter Monday a holiday?
It used to be, wasn't it?
Well, I swear it used to be as well.
I thought so too.
And then people tell me, no, it's only ever been a holiday for schools and government offices.
Government.
But if Easter Sunday is a holiday and it falls on a Sunday, you should get the Monday in lieu, no?
I agree with you. It should be that way. I think it's only fair. Then you have Friday and then the Monday off.
Make it a 4-day weekend for everybody.
Right? Just do it.
Get on it.
Think about it.
Have a great weekend, friends. I'll catch you right back here on Monday.
Oh,